I'm Jeff. This is Kristina. We're South Carolina natives, born and raised, and we are property investors. We buy and sell houses. Sometimes we fix them, sometimes we keep them.
So this property, we actually purchased from two very new investors. They had never flipped a property before. When we first bought the property, so we name our properties. It's just a thing that we do. It's like naming your car. We figure they might perform better if we name them and love them. And so this one in particular was Flippin' Love Thy Neighbor. The house numbers were 316, and it just felt appropriate. So yeah, we named it Flippin' Love Thy Neighbor, and we weren't entirely sure why it just fit. And we found out 2 years later exactly why it was named that. So
we have a different property over on the northeast side of town, near Sand Hills. And we were working on that project, had to starting to close that one down, taking extra supplies, garbage. We have a dumpster over at one project. We took some supplies and some trash over there to drop it off at the house in question. And when I walked in the front door, something was amiss. Because a few weeks prior, I had been there and I had stacked a bunch of buckets of paint. And when I walked in the door, it quickly dawned on me that the buckets of paint were not stacked. And I didn't think a whole lot of it at first until I peered a little further around the corner and saw the back door was open. And then I realized there was paint everywhere. My first thoughts was that we had been burglarized, maybe copper thieves or something. So the first thing I did is I went and checked all the electrical wiring, the air conditioners. Everything's okay, nothing's touched, thank God. And then it quickly became apparent that some children had been in the house and taken out a little boredom, perhaps a little anger, and made a big mess of the place. Honestly, for me, it didn't much faze me because it's what I do for a living. I go into completely destroyed homes and restore them and make them brand new. So while yes, it was a surprise, it really wasn't much of a shock for me. It was just like, okay, well, here's another mess, a couple phone calls, get this cleaned up and move forward. And then we decided, okay, we have to get sheriffs involved. And as we were standing there talking to the deputy, these children literally walked in the back door and it became something completely different. It's like, okay, we got a mess here, we got to fix it. What you guys gonna do to help with that?
My name is Lawrence Brewer. I'm 31 years old. I'm from New York. Been down here about, oh my God, probably like 17 years, right? So I became a native of South Carolina, married, 3 children, been in law enforcement for 10 years. Currently work for Richland County Sheriff's Department. My position is a corporal. I'm the supervisor of Region 2, one of the best region in the county. I'm just playing. That incident, came out as a burglary, right? And I arrived on scene and met with Mr. Jeff. And as we're walking around the property, he's showing me different damages of vandalism around the house. One of the neighbors actually came over and said, hey, I saw 3 kids in the house about a week ago. And we're thinking like, okay, so we know it's 3 children. And as Mr. Jeff was showing me around the property, he's like, there's 3 kids right there in the backyard. And I'm like, oh wow, it sure is, right? And I kind of stood back to kind of monitor what they were going to do. And all 3 kids walked inside the house while we was in there. And when they walked in, they all was just like puzzled, like, oh my God, right? And we're like, so what's going on? And they're like, we're sorry. And immediately, when I saw them, I saw myself, right? Because you're able to identify with people. Because I saw myself in the sense of, I made a mistake. There's so many things that I've done as a kid at that age. Grew up in New York, fast-paced city. And I'm like, man, my heart immediately went out to him.
My name is Chad Thomas. I'm a Walmart store manager. I've been with Walmart for 24 years. I run a store of about 300 associates that I try to mentor and really develop. And I'm a dad of 3 amazing boys that, are really growing up to be amazing men, and just trying to, set the example for them. Yeah, the biggest thing for me personally is just, I'm really wanting to make a difference in, the lives of just people, because, I've had so many people just pour into me and just really make a difference in my life. I came up under a single mom. I was homeless at one point, and just, I know the struggles that are out there. And I don't think people realize, my past of what I had to go through. I started at Walmart because I had to put a roof over my head and help not only me, but my mom as well. And just growing up in that, and just, trying to understand, what people go through when they struggle like that, I personally know. And, I worked my way up from just an hourly associate here at Walmart to now being a store manager that's extremely blessed. And I'm just trying to pass that along to others, and really try to, give others hope, and really make a difference in their lives, so they can know that, they can do this as well.
So while the moms are on scene, I'm trying to calm them down, because they're upset, right? And as any mother would. And again, I immediately saw my mom, I saw myself, because I've had those same type conversations with my mother, in school, being a kid, getting in trouble, and having the police or having the principal call my mom onto a scene. And I just assured the mothers, hey, and along with Miss Kristina, hey, everything's okay. They're not going to jail, right? We're gonna document this, but they're not going to jail. It's okay. We all make mistakes. Just to soothe the parents, right? And fast forward, I told each mother, I said, hey, if you guys need anything, here's my county phone, give me a call. I would love to be in your child's life and mentor them, as well as Miss Kristina. Anything we can do to help, we're only a phone call away. And the mother's very appreciative of that. And so fast forward, I called the moms and asked them each how the boys doing. And they all said, the boys are doing good. And I said, okay, would you be okay if I take the boys out one Saturday and spend some time with them? And each mom said, of course, come grab them. And I thought about it, and I was like, once I realized one mother had 8 children, the other one had 6 children, and one had 3, I was like, oh my God. I called Miss Kristina, and we've been in constant communication on how we can truly serve and connect with the families in the community. And I just thank God that, Sheriff Lott was on board as well, and he gave us his blessing to be able to go out here and do this and serve the community. So I thought about it, I was like, well, if I take each child, right, that's only 1 out of 8, 1 out of 6, and 1 out of 3, I asked the mom before, I said, well, how can we help? And one mom in particular said, if I could get some assistance with food, that'd be amazing. So that thought pondered with me, and I said, well, what resource can I call to get assistance? And I thought about Serve and Connect. And I was like, reached out to Cassie, reached out to you, and you put me in contact with Miss Kim, who put me in contact with Mr. Chad Thomas. And Chad said, hey man, come to Walmart Saturday between these hours. I called Miss Kristina, they was on board, we went to Walmart, and we was able to grab 3 shopping carts full of food.
Yeah, so when we were going through and shopping for the families, I didn't know what they needed. So, with the help of Corporal Brewer and the family that actually the house got broken into, helped kind of shop and kind of what the needs were. So, we got them everything from food to basic necessities, from toilet paper, paper towels, different things like that, just to really help them, because I was told that, they just really needed some things, to help them, get by. Biggest thing I would say that I love to do is just love to give back. That's one of the biggest things that really makes me happy, is being able to bless others, just because I know how blessed I am now. And just, from my past to now, it feels good to be able to give back and really make a difference in someone else's lives. Because I remember when I was growing up, someone did that for me, and I absolutely wanted to do that for them.
I look forward to meeting up with the kids Saturday. They're coming out Saturday for a cleanup day. So I look forward to having them out there, doing some work. And, I told the moms, we're gonna hold them accountable. At the end of the day, we're gonna hold them accountable. That's what we're supposed to do, is to truly, love on them, but still show them discipline and hold them accountable, because you can't have one without the other. Man, when we met and talked at Arbor Drive with the young man and Miss Kristina, out their own mouths, they was like, I feel like I have a big brother. I feel like I have a friend. They was asked, do you regret this happening? And he was like, yeah, but no, because if this didn't happen, we wouldn't have met Brewer. We wouldn't have met Miss Kristina. So you never know what God is doing and how God orchestrates things. I'm just grateful that Miss Kristina was there and that she had the heart that she had to have compassion for these children. I'm grateful for Servant Connect. I'm grateful to Richland County. I'm grateful to everybody involved with Walmart, because it truly takes a village. This is not a Brewer thing. This is a community thing. And everybody, it's like a puzzle, right? If you're missing that piece of the puzzle, it's not complete. So I'm just glad that everybody had their piece of the puzzle and was ready to play the game to put this thing together.